What's going on, Arizona sports fan family? We're back at it again with another video here of the Arizona sports fan. Happy Victory Monday to you guys. Now, the Arizona Cardinal fan base right now is absolutely excited, right? We ended up coming off a win, a thrilling win in overtime over the Raiders. Absolutely huge win, but there's still some things we definitely need to talk about. Things that we've learned in week 2, guys. Let's dive right into it. Roll that intro. Alright everybody, welcome back in. Now before we get started, definitely do me one huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. We're pretty much dropping videos on this channel daily for Arizona Cardinals content. Subscribe and join the community. Let's dive right into it, everybody. The aftermath, Arizona Cardinals versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Week 2, thrilling win for the Arizona Cardinals. We'll talk about positives and then negatives. One thing that I have noticed in terms of Cardinal fans, or just fans just in general, whenever we win, a lot of ugliness kind of gets swept under the rug, right? A lot of things don't really kind of get talked about. And I want to make sure that we have this video to talk about those ugly things that we ended up seeing. Now, let's start off with the positives here for the Arizona Cardinals. I think the biggest positive is that the Arizona Cardinals won, right? We're now 1-1 on the season. Kyler Murray went ultra god mode, pretty much like Madden mode, and it looked really cool. I do honestly believe that Kyler Murray was the main reason why we won this game. He literally put the team on his back and he did everything in his power to do so. Now, I know there was some frustrations from a lot of people, right, within this organization. I think Zach Ertz, kind of got upset because the ball wasn't getting thrown to him. So whatever ended up happening between him and Kyler Murray, I love the fact that they ended up getting together and actually fixing the issue, because Zach Ertz had a pretty good game, in my personal opinion. I think he led the Arizona Cardinals team in receptions, and that right there is absolutely wonderful, because I've been longing for Zach Ertz to have a big impact on this offense, and this is kind of the step in the right direction, right? Making sure that our safety blanket is always available for Kyler Murray, just those quick hook routes, getting between the zones. That's exactly what Zach Ertz should be doing. Now, a couple other positives as well. We saw Zaven Collins throughout the entirety of this defense, and honestly, I like what I've seen from Zaven Collins. So, the more and more reps that he gets, the more and more he's going to get better, the more and more he's going to be able to kind of get into the game day speed. So I'm excited to see what his progression is going to be. And Isaiah Simmons. Now, I was going to put Isaiah Simmons in the negative because he only showed up for what? It was like less than 20 plays, something along those lines. But Isaiah Simmons came out super clutch with what he ended up doing for this Arizona Cardinals team in overtime. Forced a fumble, and then Byron Murphy ends up scooping it up and running it in for the touchdown. So I was going to put Isaiah Simmons in the negative spot, but no, I'm going to keep him in the positive because he did take advantage of his opportunity, and just kudos to him in general, right? It sucks because I do feel like Isaiah Simmons is held to such a high standard that when he does mess up, he ends up kind of getting shunned away from this defense. It's almost kind of like that kid that does bad and he gets put on timeout. That's how I feel like they're treating Isaiah Simmons, which is not all the way fair, because everybody should be treated equally. And we almost kind of seen, right, flashes of what Isaiah Simmons can be. Now, do I want him to have the green dot? Maybe not. I like what he did in this game, right? The big key, opportunities that he ended up coming out for. Maybe it's just way too much for Isaiah Simmons to do all this thing, right? Calling the entire defense, and on top of that, covering star name tight ends. It's a big deal. So maybe the green dot is just way too much responsibility for Isaiah Simmons at this very moment. We'll have to kind of wait and see how this defense approaches the rest of the games in the, the schedule for the 2022 season. Now, let's dive right into the negatives, right? I think there was a lot of negatives for the Arizona Cardinals in this game. Now, granted, we won, so a lot of people aren't going to really talk about this too much, but a few things that I saw was another slow start, right? We've been talking about, adjustments and doing what Cliff Kingsbury should have been doing in year 2, in year 3. Now, whether this was an adjustment thing or Kyler Murray just going God mode, I refuse to believe that, a light bulb just went off, right? And Cliff Kingsbury now understands what's going on. But one of the negatives, in my personal opinion, is the slow starts. We need to get better on what we're doing. Whatever we did in that fourth quarter, in the last minute of the third quarter, that's what we need to continue to do so, because honestly, that's the way our offense is going to get better and better. Making sure that we have those quick routes, getting our run game involved, play actions, throw the ball deep, making sure that we're just a balanced offense in general. Now, I also did see Kyler Murray under center, which I'm actually really happy about. I do believe the more and more we're actually on the field, the more and more we're able to see the entire playbook, because let's be honest, if we're going 3 and outs all the time, we're not able to see the different plays, and we're playing behind the 8 ball, and it's just going to get a lot harder to get into a groove. So, I do believe the Arizona Cardinals offense will get this fixed, hopefully, but the slow starts need to get better. A couple other things that I want to talk about here is time management, right? I think there was a lot of miscommunication just with the play clock going down, had to burn some untimely, timeouts. Now, granted, the Arizona Cardinals won this game, so it really wasn't that big of a deal, but I can see a scenario where if the Arizona Cardinals needed those timeouts and we wasted them because miscommunication, or Kyler Murray didn't see that the play clock was running down and he was trying to call the plays, just like stuff like that needs to be cleaned up. We need to be aware of everything that's happening on the field, right? Kyler Murray needs to call the plays, but also needs to be aware of what's happening with the play clock. Now, is that fully on Kyler Murray? No, it's not, right? It's on Cliff, it's on the full Cardinals organization to kind of fix this, and I truly do believe that. So that's something that definitely needs to get fixed. I also do believe we used up 2 of our timeouts in overtime, and we didn't have any of the timeouts. Now, granted, is that miscommunication, or is that the way that Cliff Kingsbury wanted to play it? But I do like having those timeouts, especially when we absolutely do need them. Penalties actually killed us in this game as well. Not as bad as we used to have games, right? We used to have games where it was literally like super bad. We had some things here and there, but not to the point where it obviously affected us that much because we ended up winning. So, but penalties still is a killer for the Arizona Cardinals team as well. One of the biggest things I want to talk about in terms of negatives. One of the big negatives for this Arizona Cardinal team is the defense. Now, they did come out clutch for us, and I gotta fully admit that this defense came up absolutely clutch for this Arizona Cardinal, organization. But to have our defense on the field for 9 straight minutes and getting a touchdown for the Raiders, it's crazy. Now, Vance Joseph probably adjusted in the second half, and everything kind of got better from there. But man, we just can't have long drives like that at all, especially when the Arizona Cardinals deferred the ball to start the game. They're expecting to get that ball back. They're expecting the defense to make a stop, but we're living in a situation where the offense needs to always be scoring points because our defense can't stop anybody. Now, granted, like I said, a lot of things went our way in that last drive in overtime, right? Zaven Collins even forced a fumble, but the Raiders got it back. Isaiah Simmons forced a fumble. Byron Murphy scooped it up and got a touchdown, but this game could have easily gone not our way. They were so close to getting into field goal range, and this game could have been a talk where we're sitting at 0-2, right? Now, every game is going to be very close. At least that's what we hope that's going to happen. It's going to be decided either with 1 possession or 2 possessions. We no longer want to see the days of getting blown out like Kansas City did to us in week 1. We no longer want to see that, but that kind of has to say, like, our defense needs to get fixed. Whatever's happening, we need to fix it. We're just seeing too much long of a drives. We're seeing our offense getting cold on the bench, not being able to come back on the field because our defense can't make a stop. Now, JJ Watt came up and actually got a sack, and I think that was the juice that we ended up needing. But other than that, we didn't see any other sacks from JJ Watt, but we also did see him creating pressure. We saw him, kind of getting in the backfield and rattling Derek Carr, which is definitely good as well, right? It's not all about the sacks, but it's about creating the pressure into the opposing, quarterback. So there's more negatives than positives. I think the big positive is that we won this game, but there's a lot of negatives to talk about, especially the first half and then even leaking into the third quarter as well. We really did scrape by in winning this game, but hey, we'll take the win as it comes. We'll see how it comes up, but there's definitely a few things we definitely need to clean up. And as I mentioned in this video, I'm hoping that the more and more we get into the season, the more and more we're going to start seeing these type of trends that's been haunting this Arizona Cardinal organization for quite some time. Let me know how you guys are feeling, guys. Put everything in the comments below. As always, like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Have a great rest of your day, and I'm out.